Silence. Scientists at Columbia University are warning that the dose of radiation from the new full-body security scanners going into airports all over the United States could be up to 20 times higher than originally estimated. It was not presented to us as an estimate. Those low levels of radiation were presented to us as fact. 43% of Americans have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. Well, damn. The FDIC's deposit insurance fund now has negative $20.7 billion in it, which represents a slight improvement from the end of 2009. The judge that BP is pushing for to hear an estimated 200 lawsuits on the Gulf of Mexico oil disaster gets tens of thousands of dollars a year in oil royalties and is paid travel expenses to industry conferences. And he eats food that is made of nothing but oil. In recent years, the U.S. government has spent $2.6 million tax dollars to study the drinking habits of Chinese prostitutes and $2.6 million to study the drinking habits of Chinese prostitutes, and $400,000 tax dollars to pay researchers to cruise 6 bars in Buenos Aires to find out why gay men engage in risky sexual behavior when drunk. I could tell you why straight men engage in risky sexual behavior when drunk. 'Cause you're drunk and it feels good. I'm assuming it's pretty much the same for gay ones. Give me that $400,000. I answered your question. U.S. officials say that more than $3 billion in cash, much of it aid money paid for by U.S. taxpayers, of course, has been stolen by corrupt officials in Afghanistan and flown out of Kabul International Airport in recent years. I feel safe putting my money in some sort of institution. According to a report by the U.S. Department of Transportation's Bureau of Transportation Statistics, the baggage check fees collected by U.S. airlines shot up 33% in the first quarter to $769 million. Baggage claim, that's where it's at. Open a business doing that. 3 California high school students are fighting for their right to show their American patriotism even on a Mexican holiday after they were forced to remove their American flag shirts on Cinco de Mayo. That's bullshit. Right now, interest on the U.S. national debt and spending on entitlement programs like Social Security and Medicare are somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15% of GDP. By 2080, it's projected to eat up approximately 50%. The total of all government, corporate, and consumer debt in the U.S. is now about 360% of GDP. A 6-year-old girl was recently handcuffed and sent to a mental facility after throwing temper tantrums at her elementary school. That is insane. In Florida, students have been arrested by police for things as simple as bringing a plastic butter knife to school, throwing an eraser, and drawing a picture of a gun. I used to draw pictures of guns all the time. Little boys are obsessed with guns for some reason. The shape, the fact that they shoot Nerf balls at your sister, shit like that. So you draw guns all day long. School officials in one town in Massachusetts are refusing to allow students to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. According to a new study, approximately 21% of children in the United States are living below the poverty line. Since 73, more than 50 million babies have been murdered in abortion facilities across the United States. One more. I saw a state police video where they were teaching the trainees that the forefathers were terrorists. They are trying to embed it into the brains of these police officers that anybody who's fighting for the Constitution and his own freedom is a traitor. He said, this guy in his video, he's training these assholes, and he says, think about it. The forefathers, they were traitors to England. They were terrorists. In today's world, they would be arrested. Well, thank God that didn't happen in today's world. But too damn bad, it's not happening in today's world. You know what it is? I mean, with the Mexican cartels moving in on this side, you know, and the oil spill just wasting everything down there, and starting to wrap around Florida and all that, America is stewing in its own juices. And it's something's going to fucking pop real quick here. The bubbles are going to start hitting the surface, I'm telling you. What happens when someone does take a freak out and move in on this Arizona border thing? One side or the other, Mexican or American, someone goes like, goes all Braveheart, stabs somebody, or starts the war. What happens then? Who's the government going to back? Well, apparently they're already clearing out space for them, so they'll pretty much just start arresting Americans and giving amnesty to Mexicans. Do you know that it's all but admitted that Barack Obama is not an American citizen and should not be the president of the United States? He's born in Kenya. He's a Kenyan. Pictures of him with his entire family from Kenya, in Kenya, when he was like a teenager, I've seen. And, the whole thing's just going to hell in a handbasket. It's a good thing that, when I was growing up, I used to think, you get a job, and then you skate by for the rest of your life. That's life. And then I started thinking, towards the end of my teen years, you start thinking, you know what, fuck that. I'm going to break out of that. I'm going to be famous this, or some incredible scientist or something. But then that doesn't happen either. That happens to a very low percentage of people. The rest of us end up squeaking by, irking it out, doing horse shit jobs, and getting fucked by the man. And, not only are they fucking you, but they're laughing at you the whole time. These things hit certain media. We all, we see it, we try to spread it. And, Jesus, just nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares that we're not allowed to ask what's up with the BP oil spill. Hawaii, they made it illegal for you to ask them for Obama's birth certificate. People were calling and sending letters and emails saying, okay, well, I'll pay whatever fee it is to see a copy of his birth certificate that says Hawaii. And they keep saying, no, we have it, but no. And then, that person says, well, it's completely legal for me to do this. You need to show this to us. He's the president of our country right now. And they're saying, well, I've seen it. It exists. But no. And that's all they'll say. And then they say to him, well, have you seen it and examined it yourself? Well, I've seen it. And no, you can't see it. So people kept asking and kept being like, well, why can't I? Why can't I? So they petitioned and got it. And they made it illegal. Now, if you ask them, it's more. If you ask them more than 3 times in a 6-month period or something like that, that's not transparent at all. The Freedom of Information Act. What was that? Huh? You still can't do anything in our shithole country without a big fucking bag of money. If you don't have a big ass bag of money. Freedom of Information Act is 3 more letters to you, the FIA. Freedom of Information, my ass. Have you heard of Iron Mountain? Yeah, look that up. Iron Mountain. Fuck. Fuckity fuck. Alright. So, repost, or, go to the links, do your own story on it, whatever. Get it out. These 50 things, not all of them. We'll say about 20, 25 of these things really need to be mainstreamed and really need to be put out for, all the regular idiots to see. You smell me? Word. Funk is funkin' out of here.